everybody. Happy Thursday, my favorite day of the week. And welcome. If you are new, there's quite a few new people. Thank you so much for joining us. If you are new, here's real quick about us. We are a large family, of which majority, half the kids have now moved on or they're in college and the other half are still at home. I do have 3 of my children, my grandson, my husband and myself that we are here on all the time. And then I have 2 of my girls are here right now from college break, and then they'll go back to college actually in about 10 days they go back, and they'll be there until summer break. So on the regular I feed 6 people every day, and then for a month here and there I have the ones that come home from college. And we are on a very tight budget to get out of debt, and so we are giving ourselves $500 a month, of which I did a stock up at the beginning of this month, and I replenished some of more expensive items like protein powder because it was a good sale, and juice for my son who is 10, my youngest son, and he is autistic, so he has a very limited diet that he will eat. And you'll also hear me talk a lot about therapy and going to therapy and therapists and teachers coming here, and that is all for my 10-year-old son. And what else? And I stocked up on flour and sugar and just the basics, because we had done $400 a month for November and December, and we bumped it up to $500, but that is because I did need to do some stocking up, and we feel like that's a more realistic amount to spend. But because I spent it stocking up on items like protein powder and bread or flour and sugar and stuff like that, we don't have any money left for the month. So you're watching us go through the month, basically doing a pantry and freezer challenge is, I guess, what we're kind of doing, is I'm just trying to use up what we have so that we can make way for all the new stuff that we're gonna buy in the following months. So, well, I guess we'll just go on. Today is a full day of meals. Sorry, lost train of thought there for a minute. Full day of meals and what all we are eating. Again, I'm sharing that with you every day so that you can see we're real people just doing it, and hopefully help you be able to do that too if that's something that you need to do or a debt-free journey that you're on. So here is our breakfast, and then we'll go into lunch. Okay, so this morning we are doing another smoothie. I am doing that because I don't have a lot of fruits and vegetables going into our day-to-day. So I wanted to just kind of start off with some fruit. I don't have a lot of fruit, at least, going into the day. So I have this bag of frozen chopped kale, and I'm going to use some of it now, and I'm going to put the rest up for lunch. So just put a little bit of that in. Not too much. Then I'm going to use the end of this Greek yogurt. There's just a tiny bit left, so I'm going to throw that in here. I don't have any bananas, so to make it creamy instead of a banana, I'm going to use this yogurt, and I'm going to add a little bit of cottage cheese as well. Okay, I have a tiny bit of this orange juice left, so I'm going to add that. This is just kind of a throw it all together smoothie and hope it turns out good. I'm going to add a scoop of this protein powder. I will tell you, this is just not my favorite protein powder, but we're getting to the bottom of it. So I'll do a good scoop of that. I have a bag of dark sweet cherries. I'm going to add some of that. And I have some frozen mango. I'm going to add some of that. I'm also going to add some vanilla. And I'm going to add about half a can of this light unsweetened coconut milk. Now I'm going to just stir it up like this and see if it's sweet enough. It might need a little more sweetener, I'm not sure. The mango, the cherries, and the protein powder are probably going to make it sweet enough. So let's see how it turns out. Okay, so it looks like a purpley brownish pink, but that's it. Let me give it a little taste and I'll see if it needs anything else. No, I think that's pretty perfect. And you do not taste the cottage cheese at all if anybody's worried about that. It just gives it that extra boost of protein and a good way to use cottage cheese when your family is not a huge fan of it. All right, so that's it. That's breakfast. Okay, that got me 4 good sized smoothies here. And then I'm gonna make one more batch, but I just showed you how I did it, so I won't show you again. I'm gonna put everything the same, except it's no orange juice and no yogurt. All right, so now for lunch. Now I'm starting to get creative, guys. I'm starting to have to piece things together as we're running very low. I showed you guys the fridge the other day. It's even less in it now, which I figure I'll show you again this weekend maybe how the fridge is looking because it's pretty empty. But something else that I'm doing is I'm just running through. You can't really see it because I'm writing with a pencil, and I will share this with you tomorrow, and I'll give you a peek into the freezers. If you did watch my freezer pantry tour a while back, I think I did that a few weeks ago. Anyway, you will see pretty much what we had, and I did add a few things to that when I had done the stock up grocery haul that I did, or grocery shopping that I did. But it's pretty much the same, and I'll show you. But basically I'm just going through and and that was a grocery list. It was not. That was things I need to stock up on. But basically, anyway, all I'm doing is going through my freezers and writing down ideas. Hold on. So, for example, egg rolls, because I have that slaw mix in there, and I know somebody said just make some slaw with some apples. Oh, I love that, and craisins and all of that, but I'm the only one that loves that. Kate might eat it, but I need to think of things more that everybody would eat. And I don't have any egg roll wrappers, but they don't look that difficult to make, so we'll try it. I got that chicken meat in there that we bought on clearance together like a week ago, and I need to use that up. So chicken tacos, and I don't have any taco shells or tortillas, so we'll just have to make some. I thought about baked beans, macaroni salad, because I've got some of that stuff down there. I've got tons of macaroni. I've got lots of jalapenos in my freezer from gardening, and I thought some jalapeno poppers would be good because I still have some cream cheese. I was gonna say mac and cheese, but somehow somebody got into the cheddar cheese and there's none left. All I got left in there is a few Mexican type cheeses and some jalapeno or pepper jack, and a little bit of Gouda. I think that's all I got left for cheese. So, tuna patties. Tuna patties are wonderful. I love them. I also thought about just some breaded fish. I've got some sausage out there, so I thought about some biscuits and gravy. I do have another pack of sausage, like what I'm using for lunch today. So I thought about some red beans and rice, like a Cajun red beans and rice, which I've actually never made. Thought some cornbread would go good with that. Some fried cabbage with the cabbage that I have down there, and then maybe a little bit of a slaw to go with like a fish night. I thought about chili. We've got lots of stuff to make chili. We got ribs out there, lots of ribs. I gotta cook up some ribs for sure. So yeah, just kind of going through, writing it down so I can kind of wrap my head around it and think, okay, these are items that I do have. I know I've got stuff to make this recipe or that recipe, and try and do that next. So we'll take a look into my freezers tomorrow. All right, now on to lunch. I got out a bag of my frozen tomatoes because I have so many of these. I just chopped them up straight from the garden and threw them in the freezer. I will eventually need to make tomato sauce, I'm sure, to can. But I'll do that later on because right now I would like to eat them as fresh as we can, just because that's how we prefer it. So I'm just cutting them up into smaller bits. And to this, I will add the rest of this kale from breakfast. I got that frozen bag of kale out, so we'll add that in there. I'm gonna add some minced garlic, a nice bit of it, because we love garlic. I do have some onions still, so I'm gonna add some onion. We are hoping this one turns out good. Charles was excited and said, oh yes, that one sounds good. So we'll see. The kids were excited. Okay, I'm gonna stir all this together. And some of it's popping out. Maybe you've already kind of guessed what I'm trying to go with here. I have a big container of Italian seasoning, so I'm going to add some of that as well. I'm going to add salt because this is tomatoes straight from the garden. They definitely need salt. I'm going to add olive oil. I'm going to add some balsamic vinegar. And I almost forgot the pepper. Okay, I'm going to stir this up again, and I'm going to just roast this. Alright, I'm going to throw this in the oven to roast for, I don't know, start with a half hour. It might take an hour. It's 12 o'clock now. We'll just see. I want it to be nice and roasted and smelling wonderful. So to go with that, I have this sausage here that I got, a smoked sausage, and I'd gotten these, they were 2 for $5 on sale when I had stocked up before. So I am going to just slice that up and we will add that. And then I have some pasta here that I'm gonna cook up and we'll add that as well. And then if we need to add a little bit of the pizza sauce that we had as well last night, left over from making pizza, then I can add that too if it's needed. We'll see how it tastes. Without it, I'm just kind of winging it and throwing random things together, so cross the fingers it turns out good. Okay, drink to go with lunch. I'm gonna make up some more of this lemonade that everybody is not a fan of, so it'll probably take a day or two for them to drink it, but that's what we're going with again. I'm gonna add water to that. Okay, so here is the lemonade. One of you had suggested to put a lemonade slice in here, or a lemon slice to help it taste more like fresh squeezed. I actually used to do that all the time, and I would, but I don't have any lemons. Unfortunately, I have no lemons, no limes. But I still have lemonade mix, so we can still make the lemonade. That's one drink. For our second drink, we have a bag of all this stuff. Do other people have this kind of bag? It's just different things that people wanted to try or whatever. And so I have all kinds of Kool-Aid packets, all these little keto vials, and I don't know, Country Time on the go, Sunkissed on the go. We just ended up with all this stuff that we've just been accumulating. So I'm gonna make, I think, a blue raspberry lemonade as well. Kool-Aid packet. We are just kind of trying to use up during this month, since I stocked up on very expensive things and used most of our grocery budget for protein powder and juice for Luke. That was a good bit of it, and then flour and sugar. All that stuff just added up, and you know, before you know it, $400 goes very fast when you're stocking up. So we're trying to kind of, I guess, do a pantry freezer challenge along with it, and we're trying to clear some stuff out and go through stuff we already have so we're not wasting. Plus, this is the kind of stuff that I don't plan on buying anymore. So I would rather buy a bunch of lemons when they're on sale and freeze the lemon juice or can the lemon juice. I don't even know if you can. I'd have to look that up, but at least freeze it. I know I can do that. And have that on hand versus a lemonade mix. So the plan is to use up all this stuff that I don't want to buy anymore. And then from then on, I can just buy the things that I want to be buying. So I'm just adding the Kool-Aid mix and the sugar. That's it. Now we'll fill this up with water. Okay, so here are the two drink choices that I have sitting out. And then later on tonight, I got a bag of cranberries out. Now I probably have about 10, maybe even 12 bags of cranberries in my freezer. I got them all when they were 50 cents a piece because I wanted to be able to make cranberry juice and cranberry sauce and stuff like that throughout the year. So I am going to make a container of cranberry juice to go with dinner tonight, and I will show you guys how we're gonna do that here in just a little bit after lunch, sometime before dinner. We'll make the cranberry juice. All right, it is actually 12:50 now. I'm gonna get this out and just kind of see what we're looking at here. It smells so good. And I don't know about you guys, but we like it a little bit sweet, or like pasta sauce. So I'm just doing just a little sugar, probably about a tablespoon. That's now I'm gonna add this sausage, and I'm just gonna use my scissors and cut it. I'm gonna add this, and then I will let that go back in the oven while I am making the noodles. Okay, so I'll stir that all back up. And I'm gonna put that back in while I cook the noodles. Now, as far as the noodles go, I'm just gonna make the whole box, because I can turn what we don't use with this, I can turn into like a quick pasta salad, maybe add some tuna or something like that for a quick lunch tomorrow. Is what I'm thinking, possibly. Okay, so while we're waiting on this water to come to boil, I just got to thinking, Kalamata olives and some feta cheese with this is going to be so good. So I'm going to pull it out. And I'm going to add a few of these olives. And I'm going to add some feta. All right, there you go. Now I'm going to put it back in the oven. I'm going to turn the oven up to 400. Okay, so here is the concoction. And to that, I'm going to add some of these noodles. Sorry, you guys cannot see that, I'm sure. That's probably enough. You guys, this smells so amazing. And I'm going to just top this with a little bit of Parmesan cheese. And I will see if Charles will come be a taste tester for us. He might be in a meeting though, so that might not happen. There we go. Okay, so here is my taste tester. Now, all of us have already tried it and we all love it. So, let's see what you think.
Good.
Can I get it all right? It's very Mediterranean dish type tasting.
Mm-hmm.
We all loved it. All right, good. That's your lunch, man. Back to
work.
Back to work. So this is all the noodles I have left, which is a very small, tiny amount. So my thoughts for tomorrow, that's not going to happen, but Charles will throw some butter on this probably, and a little salt, and eat it later. He's already come down and got some of it after he was done with his bowl of lunch. Alright, so Charles was the wrong person. Wrong person to taste test this lunch. It's tasted very strong of olives and of feta. So if you're not a fan of that, leave the olives, leave the feta out. But oh my gosh, 10 out of 10. The girls and I absolutely loved it. To us, it tasted like, I think it's Domino's or maybe Papa John's. I don't know, but we get this Tuscan vegetable pizza. And it has all those same flavors and it's so good. It's our favorite pizza. And we never get it. My mother, she will bring it here and she'll say, I'm bringing pizza so everybody can have a break. But when she does, she always gets that. And the girls and I just love it. So Charles, though, is not a fan of olives or feta. So if you're not, then I would leave that out. And I think he would have liked it better that way. Something else, I wish I had made crusty bread with that, like some kind of a French bread or something crust. I like kind of just crusty, because that would have been really, really good with it. Or garlic bread would have been really good with it. But that is a 10 out of 10. I kid you not. I will be making that again. That was so good. And Charles complained about the olive and feta taste, but he did not notice that there was kale in it. Win for me. All right. So now, I told you guys I was gonna make some cranberry juice to go with, and I forgot to pull out the juices and show you guys when we were doing lunch, but you know, I showed you when I made them. That's what we'll be drinking on for lunch. And, well, not tonight for dinner, but for lunch and probably the next day, lunch and dinner. And now that we're gonna make this cranberry juice, homemade cranberry juice is not hard, really isn't. And I'll show you just how simple it is. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna rinse this. And a lot of people can cranberry juice, and I guess I could do that as well. But it's not that big of a deal to just make it. All right, so I'm just gonna rinse this really good. I love the brilliant, bright colors of cranberries. They are so beautiful. If I could grow regular cranberries here, I would. They're just so beautiful. And you can get them so inexpensive at the end of the holidays. They just clear them out. I think it was Walmart is where I got them. They were 50 cents a bag, or maybe it was Aldi. But yeah, I just stocked up. Okay. Next, we are moving in over here to our pot, and you're gonna do equal amount of cranberries to water. So that was about 3.5 cups. So I'm gonna add that same amount of water here. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stir this just for a second. I'm gonna put this on a medium heat. So I'm doing like a number 6. And I'll let that cook until they start to pop. And then I'm gonna turn it down to low and let it simmer for like 20 minutes. And you're gonna wanna add your sugar while it's still warm. And the amount of sugar is up to you. Last time I made it, my oldest daughter, Kate, who cranberry juice is her favorite, she said, don't put that much sugar in again. I like it sweeter. She likes it a little bit more bitter. So I'm gonna lean towards the bitter side because more sugar can always be added, or honey, or whatever you want. But right now, we're just gonna get that up, and you will see them, they'll start popping and bursting, and that's how you know that it's time to turn it down to low and just let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Okay, they're starting to pop. You can hear them. You can see them popping. Okay, so now you can see it is starting to come to a boil. It's popping. So I'm gonna turn this down now to a low and let that continue to cook for about 20 minutes, stirring it on occasion. All right, while this is still good and hot, I'm gonna add a 1/2 cup of sugar. I'm gonna just start with that. Cranberries are very bitter, so that's really not that much sugar. And I'm gonna let it continue to just soak a little bit longer. Probably another 10 minutes. Okay, so now I'm just gonna take that off the heat. I'm gonna let it cool enough because I'm going to squeeze it through a nut bag. So I need to be able to squeeze it with my hands. So I'm just gonna let this cool off. Okay, so here in the sink, all I have is I have a bowl. Then I'm putting in a strainer. And I'm putting in this, and actually I don't even need the strainer because I'm gonna use the nut bag. So I'm good with just the nut bag. And I'm gonna pour everything into the nut bag and then we'll squeeze it into the bowl. So here we go. This is still pretty warm. So I don't know if I'll be able to squeeze it yet. And it's definitely too hot to squeeze yet. So all you're going to want to do is just squeeze all the liquid out that you can. And then this will just go in a pitcher and it needs to go in the fridge and cool off. And that's it. That's your juice. And it is so good. So that made 1 liter of cranberry juice. All right, next is dinner, and I'm keeping it super simple. Sausage links. I do still have a few of those left. I was gonna make some, I got out some ground chicken as well. Earlier today, I was gonna make this blueberry chicken sausages. Maple blueberry chicken sausages. Looked so good. I saw them on, I forget, Kayla Chandler, maybe her channel. Anyway, it was in a meal prep video and I saw it a long time ago and it looks so good. But I think I'm gonna wait and make that tomorrow for breakfast because honestly, I'm getting tired of cooking. And I don't really feel like making a recipe that I gotta look up. Now, what I will do is we are gonna make pancakes to go with our sausage. That's just everybody eats it. Everybody, even Luke, likes pancakes. Everybody will eat pancakes. And I want to tell you, my favorite pancake recipe comes from my 1950s cookbook. This was given to me as a gift years ago by Kate. I don't know, maybe 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago. And it quickly became one of my favorite cookbooks. In fact, if you came from my old channel, Noelle's Big Family Life, a lot of people went on and got their own version of this because it is so good. But anyway, this version or their recipe of pancakes is perfect. And it's actually called griddle cakes. In here, it's not even called pancakes. And that's what we're gonna make today. It really is, I have found and my family has found to be the best pancakes from scratch that there are. Okay, so here it is. We are gonna make favorite griddle cakes. Now I have to make this recipe at least 3 times that amount, if not 4 times that amount for my family, but I will have this down for you below. Charles will type that up for you so you guys can make these yourself. Let's get started. All right, I'm gonna start with my sausage and I'm gonna get that cooking while I whip up the pancakes real quick. There we go. And next, I'm gonna make the pancakes. And I'm gonna go on and make this 4 times the recipe that it calls for. That way, maybe there'll even be a little bit of leftovers for snacking or for tomorrow. So I'm gonna start off with 5 cups of flour. I'm going to do 4 tablespoons of baking powder. 4 tablespoons of sugar. 2 teaspoons of salt. Okay, then I have a 1/2 cup of melted butter. I have 4 eggs. I'm just going to beat those real quick. And the milk, 4 cups. And then I like to have this a little bit more. That's it. This all gets just stirred up together real good. If you did not want to use melted butter, you could use lard or Crisco, or you could use a salad oil, like just vegetable oil, or I know butter can be a little bit expensive. Okay, so when we do pancakes, we always do a mix of plain, blueberry, and chocolate chip. That's just what my crew likes. So I will do, first batch is just plain. And then I also need to get over here and stir these sausages some more. So the second type I like to make are blueberry. For the blueberry pancakes, I am just using frozen blueberries. All right, so here is dinner. So we got our juice over here, the cranberry and orange, plain pancakes, a few chocolate chip. As you can see, that is actually not the crowd's favorite. But blueberry are for sure. Now we always make it with fresh blueberries whenever I have fresh blueberries. So this is gonna be a little different with frozen. We'll see how that turned out. I think they'll still be delicious. They're just not gonna be that same pop of blueberry that you get when you have fresh. And sausage. That's it, that's what we're having for dinner tonight. Now, if you guys have noticed, I'm trying with each evening or sometime during the day to kind of think ahead when I'm cooking. I feel like that is definitely helping some. Like today, there were no leftovers last night. The pizza, I should have made like 4 of them because they ate them like that. I mean, they were good. Everybody chowed on them. So that's something I'm trying to do. So like I'm hoping that I'm gonna have some pancakes left over that can carry into tomorrow. Because even if it's not enough for a meal, it's great for snacks for when somebody's hungry, especially because we don't have a lot of stuff just laying around right now. We don't have all the snacky stuff and all of that kind of stuff just laying around. And the other thing is I got a question on the last video that asked if cooking is all I'm gonna be doing right now. I am gonna be sharing every day what we're eating. I think that that's a huge part right now, and it's helping a lot of people, and it helps me. And you know, I can even use these videos to go back and look at myself and be like, oh, that was really good. I'm gonna make sure I make that again. So definitely I'm gonna keep up with that. We are gonna be doing the monthly update on how it's going getting our debt paid off. We're gonna do that on the 1st of every month. Starting February, I'll do shopping hauls again. I just don't have any more money to buy anything for January, so I don't have shopping hauls to show. In the spring, when we're able to get outside and garden and do all the stuff, then we will be sharing all of that with you as well. As far as vlogging like we used to do with the children and sharing all of that, I'm not comfortable with that anymore. That's why you don't really see the kids on here, and I kind of quit vlogging. I got some comments that just made me very uncomfortable having the children on. So that just stopped. And so you'll see a glimpse of them here or there, but I'm not doing that kind of vlogging anymore. So I am sorry, I know a lot of you like that. That came from my other channel, and we're just not doing that. We're not gonna continue with that kind of vlogging, but we will still vlog some of what's going on in the gardens and stuff like that, in the homestead and the animals and all of that kind of stuff. All right, that is gonna wrap it up though for tonight, you guys. I hope you make these pancakes. Oh my gosh, and make that lunch. That was so good. In fact, I need to go rewatch how I did it, so I write it down and put it in my recipe thing because that was so good. And everybody loved the smoothie this morning. Cottage cheese in your smoothie. Nobody even knows. It's a great idea. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give a thumbs up so I know you guys are still liking these videos. And I'll see you tomorrow for another What We're Eating. Bye, everybody.